Well, I took a valid entry and it immediately reversed and stopped me out. I started my morning the same way that I always do, about 45 minutes or so before the market opens. I just kind of review my notes, review my rules, my spreadsheet with all of my trades, and I just start writing down notes for myself, really just trying to mentally prepare myself to start thinking about things like a professional trader as opposed to somebody who wants to come in and just take money from the market. I wrote right off the bat, today is the day to be patient rather than predictive. Just let the market reveal the direction first. I really want to become more of a rule-based trader and less prediction-based. That's the direction that I'd like to see myself going. I really want to know, like asking myself, am I entering because the setup is here or because I don't really want to miss the move? But it seems like no matter how hard I try, there's this tension between treating the market as a place to come in and take money versus observing and allowing my trade to present itself. I can continue to tell myself the goal is to be disciplined and only focus on executing the setup and being happy with the results. But at the end of the day, the truth is I just really want to make money. So I was looking here at the MES chart, and what happened was I think it was about a 30 point, 31 point opening range. We had a breakout here at the 936 candle. And then I noticed it didn't extend any further. So I dropped this purple line here just to kind of show me like a micro range. This kind of helps me. This is just something that I do. It just kind of helps me to start to see things a little more structurally, puts a frame on stuff, and it helps to create like some sort of guidelines so that I'm not just constantly candle chasing. I noticed that it did kind of drift a little bit below that, but these are not strong push moves. There is a lot of volume in these candles, but they're not strong push moves. There's a lot of back and forth between the buyers and sellers establishing the price. So I went ahead and dropped this second purple line here to just show that these are spots where it kind of seems to have a lot of resistance. It ultimately did go back up and retest into the opening range, and I had fully intended on taking entry on the close of this candle right here, but it pushed so fast that by the time the candle closed, it was just such a far extended away from the actual proper stop loss placement. So I just sat there and allowed it to just do its thing for a little bit, and still noticing these micro ranges, this would be a good secondary entry right here. So I ultimately did take entry right here. Now, as we see it here in this chart, after it's over, this is what the candle ultimately did, was it went back up, but as you're seeing it in real time, you see these candles slowly driving down further and further. This candle closes at 958, and then the next candle, 959, opens up right here and it drives down. So this little wick that you see was actually a solid candle driving down. That's what prompted me to take entry. It had broken from this place of resistance, and that would be a typical setup for a nice extended run. As soon as I hit buy, I placed my stop loss up in here above this micro range. It was a tight stop loss intentionally, and it literally just started filling this candle and it stopped me off. Typically, that would have been something that kind of got me mad a little bit. I'm not going to sit there and say it got me happy, but I have to remind myself, one of the things that I've written down in my notes and I read quite often is my success is not determined by this specific trade. My success is determined by repeatedly executing my edge with discipline over hundreds of trades. So just because this one failed me doesn't mean that I shouldn't have confidence to do it again. I already have the data to support that would have been a successful trade. And then what happens after that is it's just a long continuation of just chop back and forth up into the range, back down into this lower range that had formed, and there's really no opportunities there. I'm to a point now after several months of doing this where I'm fine with that. Previously in the past, I would have been wanting to right my wrongs, make back the money that I lost, and just constantly look for new places to hop in to kind of make my money back. So I'm very happy that I've made at least that much progress, that I've gotten to the point where that's not my typical operating system anymore. I'm starting to think maybe this will never fully go away as far as this tension between wanting to take money and wanting to be just a professional trade executor. So I think maybe the better realistic approach is I just need to manage the tension and just continue to put the setting up the trades as the primary purpose, and then trust that if I follow that process, the profits will follow, or that's the hope. But to now, that is yet to be determined. We're still in the testing phase and the learning phase.